folks, a Daytona 500 washout, pork or priceless infusion of cash, and oh, the mortgage mess. Our guest tonight's a financial planner who traded in the insanity of Wall Street to come to the Bay Area. He's now a consultant, consumer advocate. He is the watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski, back on the lightning round.
Pleasure.
How are you? Things good?
Well, hanging in there.
I was going to say, this is like your Daytona 500 all wrapped up in a one, isn't it, too?
Every day I wake up around 4 o'clock in the morning, I start reading these stories like, my God, what's next?
And the stimulus bill, you haven't even had time to read all of it, too, like most people haven't. Why did they have to rush this through? I mean, why not take another week? No one was able to read this in its entirety before they were required to vote on it. I cannot believe that.
Some were actually claiming that they did read it in 3 hours. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
3 hours,
Yeah.
Sure.
It was like 3 phone books put together.
1,100 pages.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they had to rush it like they did.
It's the sales job, and you know the interesting thing, and everybody's talking about it today in the news cycle, is why wasn't it signed on Saturday if it was such a rush? I don't get it. I didn't get Enron. I didn't get, you know, the whole CDO thing. I don't get this.
So the bottom line is it a good package? Is it a bad package? What should they have done in your opinion?
I think they probably should have went a free market route and started going with more, you know, tax cuts across the board. I mean, we have the second highest corporate tax rate in the world. Go after tax cuts, help businesses go out there. The tax cuts that they've actually implemented in this package actually help faltering businesses rather than businesses that are doing well. Capitalism survives and does well on a Darwinian principle. It's almost like a lymphatic system, recessions. You get out all the bad companies and you keep the good ones. If we're going to start bailing out more and more of these companies that are doing poorly, you're actually keeping, they call them zombie firms, alive. And why do that?
And the same argument is going to apply to this mortgage mess. And we're going to hear in the next couple of days probably some sort of mortgage plan as they're trying to develop that. But the reality is you're also going to be bailing out people who are probably made the worst of the investments, whereas the people who've been abiding by the rules are probably not going to see any of that.
There has to be some repercussions for poor decisions in America. There has to be. I know it stinks that, you know, you got talked into a mortgage you didn't afford or whatever it may be, but it may be in your best interest not to be in that home in the first place. If we're going to actually take these mortgages, the government's going to buy them up and want to do something with them, I suggest either investing in bulldozers and knocking these things down because there's too many of them out there, or actually, you know, cutting a deal with the first-time home buyer to come in and buy this piece of property rather than keep people in their homes that made poor decisions. You're going to invite a lot of fraud and a lot of problems coming down the road.
For the average person that's out there, our viewers tonight, what do you think is the best part of the stimulus package?
Best part so far is there are some deductions for small business owners to go out and purchase new equipment, and that always helps out as well. People are going to see that. They say, okay, maybe I'll go out and buy a new computer. Maybe I'll go out and buy a new vehicle for my business. That helps.
Yeah, how about the Daytona 500? 48 laps to go yesterday. Before 7 o'clock?
Before 7 o'clock.
They call it. It's a tough decision for NASCAR. Matt Kenseth wins under the red flag. But let's back up to the Super Bowl a couple of weeks ago. Super Bowl gets rained out, and whoever was leading in the third quarter is declared the winner. That's the equivalent of what happened yesterday, and I think every NASCAR fan on the planet should be angry. They should have at least made another crack at today.
It's anticlimactic, too.
No, it was. I mean, all the hype that builds up to all the practices, all the off-season, you know, they're working towards, gearing towards their Super Bowl for this thing, and it turns out to be just a wash. I mean, people spent a ton of money. When you talked about it this week, how there was a lot of people who didn't show up this year because just a spot in the infield, $1,400 for a spot, and you're going to dish that out and turn around.
I mean, this is a stupid question, but just race in the rain. To put the windshield wipers on and go slow.
It'll be more exciting.
It'd be more tires. I'll take the tires off, put different tires on.
Goodyear's got those little treads and the water goes through.
You know?
Just do that. Just run.
Open wheel does it. They have tires they put on during rain conditions.
Well, and if they weren't going 200 miles an hour,
well, they go 60. It's still a race.
Exactly.
It's a slower race. You go fast over the bridge.
If they go too fast.
They put the hazards on like the people do on I-75.
It's Rain-X. You've heard of Rain-X before?
Chris Markowski, watchdog on Wallstreet.com,
yes.
right? All right, thanks. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
We'll be right back.